In this video, we're headed to Bowling Green, Kentucky for the Tri-5 Nationals presented by CPP. This is an amazing event that takes place at Beach Bend Raceway, and there's 3 full days of action with drag racing, a huge car show, a big swap meet, and a lot of cool stuff to see. Now, this is not meant to be a comprehensive video. There are so many cars, 2,700 plus cars on hand, and there's no way that I could cover all that in one video. But I'm hitting the high spots for me personally, some cool things that I like, and I think you'll like them as well. If you want to see more action and more coverage from the Tri-5 Nationals, you got to check out Throttle Power. Throttle Power has several great videos that show some extensive coverage of the drag racing, of the swap meet, the cars for sale. He covers it all. But let's get into the action on my video. This is going to be a general highlight piece that shows some cool stuff that I ran across, as well as some racing action at the end. The first thing that I spotted on Wednesday when I pulled into the track was this great combination. This is a 55 Chevy 210 two-door sedan, and this thing is slick. It's got a great 60s stance. You can see the white headers hanging down, American torque thrust wheels on it. Nothing real crazy or exotic about it, but check out the tow vehicle. This is so cool. He's got a cameo truck pulling this 55 Chevy drag car. I'm sure while this thing was going down the road, it turned a lot of heads and got a lot of thumbs up. And he came all the way from Illinois, so quite a long trip on this very old school tow truck and drag car setup. Here's a car that was sitting in the swap meet area. I didn't see a price on it, but this 55 Chevy 4-door wagon had some really cool pieces. First of all, it had some gold painted Kragers on it and a lot of other gold accents, but look at this setup here. Small block Chevy, and it's got a Dyer's supercharger, and the most unique part of it is the mechanical fuel injection on top of there. An old school 2-port Hilburn setup with polished everything. This is a great looking setup. When you go to the Tri-5 Nationals, you're gonna see some movie cars, and the 2-lane blacktop is one of the most iconic. Big block Chevy, tunnel ram and 2.4s, fender well headers. This thing's got the right look. You can see the radius wheel wells, the fiberglass front end, and of course that famous scoop on the hood. This is one of several 2-lane blacktop cars on the property. Now, I've seen this car before, but I learned a little bit more about it this year, and this thing has such a cool story behind it. So this is a true 1970s custom, and the paint on this car has been on there since 1972. It's true candy. This thing is slick as it can be, and that paint has held up so well over 50 years later. And what's really cool about it is the guy who brought it here, Jay Garrett, this was built by his dad, and it was bought brand new by his mom and dad in late 1957. It was actually late enough in the year that the 58s were on the dealership floor, and they put 58 hubcaps on this 57 right out of the dealership. And then that set the stage for lots of other modifications. He put lake pipes on it, fender skirts, and really got going in the 1960s with some other customizations that led to the 1972 overhaul with the candy paint, the wild interior, and lots of other modifications. Jay still has the signboard back here. You can see it's got all the custom hand lettering that shows all the details. 283 bored to 299 cubic inches, 270 horse, balanced, 2 4-barrel carburetors, and then it says the paint is Ditzler Star Apple Burnt Sugar, and then at some point it had 57 Chrysler wire wheels, 57 Nomad rear bumper, custom grille from a 53 and 57 Chevy, shaved hood and deck, and this thing is just too cool. It's still got that old school look, but he has updated a few things on it. He put power brakes on it. He put a different set of wheels and tires on it with some chrome torque thrust wheels and gold line tires that match that paint perfectly. And he loves being able to tell the story of this car and tell people about his dad and, you know, just relive some of those childhood memories. He literally grew up with this car. Here's a really neat race car, this 56 or 57 Corvette. It's definitely beat up. It's definitely rough. But you can see that this thing has some cool racing history. It's got the number 16 and BP lettered on the side of it, and you can see that roll bar sticking way up, no windshield other than just a small little windscreen. but this thing has got so much character. You can see the paint's pretty rough on it. It's coming apart, but it is so cool. It's got plain black steel wheels. It's got the remnants of the original interior, which has got red seats and red door panels, and of course that iconic dash with the two-tone coloring. And it's got a couple of aftermarket pieces here. It's got a tack up on the dash and some vintage gauges in the dash as well. So many cool details here. I didn't get the full story on this car, but when you see something like this, you know there's some history behind it. Now this is a cool combination. This is a 57 Nomad, and it's restored beautifully. This thing is pretty much by the books. The only modification that I see is it's got a set of radial tires on it. Everything else is stock. But then behind it, it's pulling a 58 model Hoarder's boat. This thing is beautiful. It's restored just as nicely as the Nomad, and the color matches, the white walls match, everything about this combination matches, and it got a lot of attention throughout the weekend. There are so many gassers that show up at the Tri-5 Nationals. I can't show them all to you. I mean, this video would be 3 hours long if I did that, but I'll show you a few highlights here. So underneath this shade tree, we got a couple of light green examples. We got one that's painted slick and one that's patinaed. This patina car, I've seen this thing all over the place. I've actually ridden in this car before. Pretty rowdy setup. Front end is way up in the air, and it's pretty much a fixture at the Tri-5 Nationals each year. Here's another gasser, this time a little more psychedelic. You can see the crazy paint job on this thing. We've got scales, we've got endless lines, we got lace, we got candy colors, fades, all sorts of lettering and different designs. It's just a wild car, and it definitely looks good out in the sun. It also has a really cool tinted Lexan scoop that goes with the tinted Lexan that's used on the body. Krager wheels, perfect stance. This is a cool one. Now this is a textbook 55 Chevy gasser, and this thing's been together for a long time. I remember seeing pictures of this car on the internet many, many years ago, and it just burned in my mind of the perfect gasser. You can see it's big block Chevy, tunnel ram and 2.4s, velocity stacks, the old Axle coil, white headers. It's got all the elements right there. And then you back up and see that stance. I mean, this thing is right on the money. The back tires and wheels sticking out ever so slightly, front end tucked up under there, good straight axle combination, perfect stance, flat black paint. This thing is just right. The Abbott crew was in town. First we'll see Tom's red and white 55, and then we got Scott's two-timer drag car. This thing's had all sorts of different engine and transmission combinations. It's had different suspension combinations. You can see currently it's got Super Trick wheels and a cool nose-down stance, Pro Stock style hood, just a really good combination of 70s style parts. One of my favorite 55 gassers of all time is Greg Porter's Night Stalker 55 two-door hardtop, and this thing is a legit 1960s gasser that he has put back on the track without doing very much to update the chassis and suspension. He has updated the roll cage. He obviously has a serious engine combination in this thing. It's got a Gene Fulton small block, and check out the heads on this thing. It's got double humps cast into those aftermarket heads. It's got a really good look, tunnel ram and 2.4s. This thing makes a bunch of horsepower, and he puts it to the ground pretty well, even though this thing is all old school underneath. You can see now it's got some really cool lettering, all the perfect patina on the magnesium wheels. The stance is right on the money, and then you got some old school wheelie bars, and he put this thing to the test in the 1/8 mile and 1/4 mile. He actually changed the rear end gear while he was at the track so he could run it through the quarter, and ran a 9 flat and 145 miles an hour. Now you may have seen this car in my video from last year or the special video I did featuring this car, but the Shelly Lynn 55 convertible was back this year, and Todd Snick made another pass down the drag strip, and I was able to capture it here on video. I was really glad to see him make another pass at it, and it was great to catch up with him. Here's another incredible 55 Chevy gasser, and this thing used to run with the Southeast Gassers Association. Check out the paint on this one. This thing has got every trick in the book, and it was really looking good out in the sun. You got Krager wheels on the front, magnesium wheels on the back, and really cool aluminum scoop. Got some aluminum work here on the grill. I mean, this thing has all the right stuff for the 1960s. And then next to it is a little more of a subdued street car, but bright yellow and white. You got a louvered hood, you got Kragers on the front, steel wheels on the back with little slicks. This was a really neat looking old school street car. Every year Barry Wallner assembles a group of junior stock race cars to come and compete at the Tri-5 Nationals, and this year he had 20 cars total. And some of these things are true survivors from the 60s and early 70s. These cars raced on the national circuit, L stock and M stock. These things were not necessarily fast. They were running 14s or maybe 13s in the quarter mile, but they were very revolutionary in what they did to achieve those ETs. These things had lots of tricks back in the day to kind of skirt around some of those extremely strict stock eliminator rules, and a lot of those tricks are still in place today. And there was some really great cars, some really cool survivors, and some really cool recreations that were out there on the track. They got to run twice a day with the exhibition cars, and then they did their own eliminator program on Saturday where they chopped through the eliminations and came down to the final winner. Speaking of exhibition cars, the stars of the Tri-5 Nationals are the wheel standers. First, of course, is Mike Bellina. His 56 Chevy has been seen all over the place. You can see it's got major battle scars. It's been beat up, it's hit the wall, it's bounced off the wall. But one thing is for sure, he is not gonna lift. It's absolutely effortless to go to the back bumper on this thing. He does big burnouts, great dry hops, and then when he drops the hammer on his run, you just never know how this thing is gonna go. And it's exciting to watch. It's exciting to photograph, and it's overall a very cool car because it has some really rare parts on it, including these magnesium spindle mount front wheels that are from the mid-1960s. Really cool, and it's cool to see him just absolutely beat on this thing. Another wheel standard is the Red Baron 55 Chevy. This is Boyd Howell, and this thing runs really good. He's got some real long wheelie bars on there that hold this thing pretty steady. He makes some good clean passes out there, although he has come pretty close to hitting me before. I don't hold that against him, but a really neat looking combination that runs good too. The other wheel standard car is the Iron Man. This is a 57 Chevy. You can see the radius wheel wells. You can see the really high stance in the front, the engine set back, tilt front end. This thing is made for wheel stands. In my opinion, the baddest car on the property was this 55 Chevy 210. This is a drag car with show car details. It is one of a kind combination. It's all steel. It's got a 615 cubic inch big block Chevy up under that stock steel hood. The stance is absolutely on the ground. This thing has a lot of high-end details. It got a top 25 and it got a top 5 and it won the Thursday night bracket race. This is a killer piece. I love running across cars like this one. This 55 Chevy, you can see it's got this sort of red-orange paint on it. You can tell it's been on there a while. and look at some of the parts that are used here. It's got a small block Chevy with those chrome 327 valve covers, 2 4s, white headers, no inner fenders of course, and look at the stance on it. It's not way up in the air, it's not crazy. This is what you would see in the 1960s. It's got Mickey Thompson Raider style wheels, it's got bias ply tires, and this thing is just right. You see it doesn't have a front bumper, it has a teardrop style scoop, and then on the inside there's not a whole lot to talk about. It's got a factory steering wheel, some gauges hanging underneath. The car itself has a real nice look to it. The paint's got a nice finish on it. And then when we go up here, we see that he's got a photo album with pictures of this car from 1965. You can see it's got traction bars underneath. You can see all the similarities here. This has got a killer backstory, and look at this. 67 Chevelle flat towing this 55 Chevy. There you can see the tow bar is flipped up. This is such a cool car with cool history, and I love the old photos. It really tells the story of this thing. Here we go with some more movie cars. We got the Bob Falfa 55 Chevy from American Graffiti. Pretty nice replica here. And then behind it is another 2-lane blacktop replica. This one a little different from the other one we showed you, but still big block Chevy, tonal ram, 2 4s. You can't beat that combination. Then we got another pair of movie cars. Another Bob Falfa American Graffiti car. This one a little more close to the original. This thing's got some really nice details. And then next to it, we got a little Project X car. This thing has got the Hollywood Nights vibe going strong. It's bright yellow, 210, 2-door sedan. Check out under the hood. Small block, gold Morosos, blower and 2 4s. This is just like what you would have saw in Popular Hot Rodding magazine and the Hollywood Nights movie in 1980. Now I love a good station wagon, and this 56 210 4-door wagon is one of my favorites. It's got a real clean interior, nice slick black paint job, black steel wheels and dog dish caps, but my favorite part is under the hood. We take a closer look right here, and it's got a W motor. Anytime I see a W motor in a 55 Chevrolet, it's just the perfect combination in my opinion. Now this one just has a single 4-barrel carburetor, doesn't look to be anything too exotic, but I just love to see a 348 or a 409 in a Tri-5 Chevy. Now here's a really cool 60s style street car. This is a 57 150 2-door sedan, really cool mint green color. The insides are perfect. Check out the Impala steering wheel, the very nice upholstery, and as we back up we get a sense of the stance of this car. It's not crazy, it's just a little high in the front. It's got 5 spokes on the front, chrome reverse wheels on the back with slicks, and no hood whatsoever. Check out the engine. Small block, Mickey Thompson valve covers. You got your tried and true tonal ram and 2 4s, and it does have a few modern pieces like power brakes, aluminum radiator, but overall this is a very traditional build. Now here's what I would consider a 70s style street gasser. This is a 55 Bel Air 2-door hardtop. It's got a set of flames on it. You can see that cast aluminum scoop bolted to the hood. It's actually got 2 sets of flames on it. It's got some tinted headlights, no front bumper. It's got a cool looking setup here, and then if you look underneath, it's got a wild suspension setup. It's got chrome springs, chrome shocks, chrome control arms, chrome sway bar, and some crazy spindles with ball joint spacers. This is a wild one. Here's another 70s style street gasser, and this time sitting way high all the way around. It's got red tinted lights up here, red tinted windows on the side, a Pro Stock style scoop on the hood, little bitty moon tank up there, Krager wheels. It's got a real cool look that reminds me of one of the model cars I built when I was a kid. So the guy who runs the Tri-5 Nationals, Chris Sondels, he also owns and operates Woody's Hot Rods. And this 55 Chevy is one of the cars that really kicked off his career with Tri-5 Chevys. This car belonged to Woody Carroll, and they built a true 60s style street car. You can see it doesn't have anything exotic going on. It's a 150 sedan, so it has no trim on the side. And we put together this tire and wheel combination from Coker. It's got Firestone cheater slicks on the back. You can see lettered on the back here, strictly business. And then in memory of Woody Carroll, he actually passed away just last year. Woody was a real good dude. I'm glad to see his 55 surviving on. Here's a cool 57 2-door station wagon. This thing's got a cool tire and wheel combo, skinny Kragers, black steel wheels on the back, no front bumper. And then we got another 57, this time a 2-door sedan. This one's sitting a little bit lower, Krager wheels, no front bumper, and it has a killer big block Chevy. Check out the gold Moroso valve covers with the gold T-handles, the gold breathers, the gold velocity stacks, tunnel ram, 2 big Hollies. Very cool 70s style combination. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment below, or hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. And let's get into some of the drag racing action.
If you are able to stand and you choose not to stand, I ask you to leave the facility